On my last video I reacted to, I saw that he was basically begging the Philippines to get out, and they were doing the Bible method. By the way, check that video out. But he was basically trying to say that he's been reading the Bible. Hey man, I changed. Come on. Like I said, crocodile tears. We will not believe that. We will not sit here and pretend like he's telling the truth within 2 months. We've seen, and also you should check that out because it shows you in depth exactly all the years he's done things exactly like this and lied countless times and has not changed. So please check that out. But I didn't know that it was actually denied, his attempt to basically show the Bible, hey, let me out, this and that. That was denied.
Vitaly just got wrecked in the Philippines, and it's way worse than anyone thought. This isn't about losing gains or crying in a cell. This is about a man accidentally triggering a national law while falling from YouTube clown to international cautionary tale. He went in chasing clout and came out changing Filipino policy. But that's just the beginning, because here's where it really explodes.
Scrub the smugness of their face and look at these images. We got one, Vitaly, head in his hands, rethinking his life, and my personal favorite, him standing up, and he's got a prison beard now, and he looks like he has lost a ton of weight. Naturally, being at prison, I'm sure the portion sizes aren't very hefty for the big juice head.
New photos of Vitaly have surfaced, and he doesn't look too good. So this is the Vitaly that we're all familiar with. This is the last photo we've seen since he was locked up. And this photo just surfaced on the internet, I think yesterday. Yeah. Now, I don't know anything for certain. Let me be clear. But if I had to guess, this is what it looks like when somebody on gear comes off without the proper post-cycle therapy. Again, I don't know. I have no idea what his situation is. But the timing kind of lines up. I mean, he got locked up. It's not like you can access gear inside prison. And what happens when you just abruptly come off gear? Well, you're gonna lose all your gains. And we all know usually you would get bigger in prison just for safety issues and to kill time. And when you stop a heavy cycle, cold turkey, with no PCT, bro, your mood tanks, your body's testosterone crashes, and you spiral mentally. He apparently begged to be released due to mental illness. I mean, that part's public info. This could be a reminder, don't play with hormones if you don't know what you're doing. And maybe don't start international chaos just for clout either. But look, at the end of the day, I don't wish ill on anyone. I hope Vitaly finds peace, a quick recovery, and good luck, for real. Let this be a lesson to anyone who thinks they're invincible. Actions have consequences. And gear doesn't love you back.
Up until recently, Vitaly was stuck in an immigration facility, a kind of waiting room for foreigners getting kicked out. Think jail light. But on June 11th, everything changed. The Filipino Bureau of Immigration threw him into the hands of the BJMP, the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. That's not a relocation, that's a punishment upgrade. He's no longer just a nuisance foreigner. He's being treated like a full-blown local criminal, and he's staying there until the court says otherwise. It spirals from here. But then came the twist. Vitaly managed to post bail for his unjust vexation case. Sounds like freedom, right? Wrong. He wasn't released. Instead, they tossed him back into immigration holding. Why? Because he's still labeled an undesirable foreign national. Translation: he's locked up with no exit plan, no appeal, no rescue squad, no more immunity from the influencer bubble. The drama only gets deeper. And then came the visual slap. New photos dropped, and the transformation was brutal. The man who once looked like a walking protein ad now looks like he's been eating oxygen and pacing through regrets. The smile? Gone. The muscle? Deflated. His eyes say one thing: I messed up. And you won't believe what made him shrink like this.
Not going to be sent to America to deal with whatever he would deal with there, which probably wouldn't be much. If he'd be deported, he probably would just walk away in the United States.
Yep.
That's not what's going to happen here. He's going to face the full justice in the Philippines, and he's also going to face the process, it seems, as it would normally proceed. So he's going to face it like a Filipino that would have broken the law, like anybody else that comes to the Philippines and breaks the law.
No
I think
special.
That's absolutely the right way to go. I think the Philippines, once again, takes a giant W on this.
Absolutely.
Let me know, what do you guys think about this? And what do you think about Vitaly's weight loss? What do you think the cause is? Let me know in the comments. Smash
Yo, by the way, I absolutely agree with him. Like, I think this is a massive W because this showcases you a great example of a majority of places wasn't doing this, right? And of course, you know, maybe the first time, you know, okay, let's relax. Maybe he'll learn. You know, maybe we'll spook him. He didn't get spooked. He did it again. 2 years later, he did it again. 3 years later, another country, he did it again. 3 years later, another country, he did it again. Another 2 years later, he did it again. Sometimes he would do it 3 times in the same year. Check out my recent reaction where I did, and it shows all of the times that he's done it, by the way, things like this, and he's just gotten progressively worse. Like this in the Philippines was the worst one. And what's scarier is imagine if the Philippines just let him go. Like a lot of people were, you know, sympathizing and trying to say just let him go. Obviously, I think a lot of the sympathizers are now dying down. Like they're realizing like, oh, we shouldn't sympathize with this guy, because when you look at his track record and a lot of the other times he's done it, especially in other countries, and abusing that fact that he'll go in for a little bit, be sympathized with, let out, do it again even worse. Look at his track record, and on top of that, it isn't just consistently doing the same thing. He got worse. He got crazier, reaching for the gun on a security guard. He's never even done something like that before. He got progressively worse because he got more comfortable with the thought that, oh my gosh, I can get away with this. And then I can just use the sympathizer tactic. And on top of that, use my crocodile tears. Not crying because of my actions and I actually regret it. I'm crying because I got caught. Okay? That's why. And I can't believe that I'm being used for an example. My own country, Russia, won't take me. United States won't take me. That's what's going on, bro. Hey, stupid meets stupid. This is what happens.
Here's where the truth hits hard. First, he lost his gym. This isn't a fancy US jail with workouts and protein powder. Filipino jails are cramped, hot, and packed. Some don't even have space to lie down fully. And Vitaly? He's not getting his supplements, his enhancers, or anything close to the stacks he bragged about. Just plain rice and regret on the menu. It gets worse. Second, he's starving. Not by design, but by default. The food provided simply isn't enough for a man his size. Inmates have reported low rations, little protein, and minimal resources. If you're built like a weightlifter, you shrink. And Vitaly? He's melting. But now here's where it gets insane. Because Vitaly didn't just get jailed, he got written into law.
A Russian-American vlogger who harassed people in BGC posted bail, but he didn't walk free. Right after his release, immigration officers took him straight back into custody. He's now locked up again in a Bureau of Immigration facility, awaiting deportation as an undesirable alien. Even though the criminal case is ongoing, the immigration process is separate and much stricter. He's not going anywhere unless it's on a plane out of the country. Should countries start banning viral troublemakers like this from even entering? Let me know in the comments and follow for more real updates.
Thanks to his chaos and public nuisance live streaming, the Philippines dropped a new regulation, NPC Circular 25-01. This rule forces vloggers and IRL streamers to blur random bystanders in their footage. Everyone. Not just kids or vulnerable folks. Everyone. This part left everyone stunned. The National Privacy Commission made it clear, no consent, no face. If you're filming in public, you now need to post a notice and tell people what you're recording. If you fail, that's a privacy violation. And that means criminal, civil, and administrative charges. This isn't a warning, it's a legal smackdown. And then, total chaos.
One really, really big update, but now we have information that he may indeed be changing the law. And how did he change the law? Well, we know that with nuisance streamers, GMA, an update from the National Privacy Commission of the Philippines saying vloggers must blur bystanders in posts under new NPC guidelines. So to explain real quick, whenever you have nuisance streamers, whenever you have these content creators, the IRL streamers, they are capturing many other people other than themselves in these videos, including vulnerable people, children, disabled people, elderly, people that they have absolutely zero permission or consent to record, and they're using them for clout, for profit, and even to mock those people that really can't defend themselves.
So yes, Vitaly changed the law, but he did it from inside a cage. He walked into a country he didn't understand, broke rules he didn't respect, and ended up creating legislation he'll never benefit from. A walking example of what not to do. He streamed for views and ended up streaming regret. That's when everything unraveled. Vitaly didn't just get jailed, he got humbled by a country that doesn't play games. He broke the system so hard, the Philippines had to rewrite the rules mid-season just to handle him. This isn't clout anymore, it's chaos. And the BJMP, that's not some resort. It's one of the harshest, most overcrowded prison systems in Southeast Asia. But this next twist? Game-changing. This isn't just punishment, it's a message. Locals are saying it loud. If this happened under former President Duterte, Vitaly wouldn't be in a cell, he'd be gone. As in, off the grid gone. No trial, no updates, no bail pleas. Just vanished. That's how serious they take disrespect in the Philippines. And even under current leadership, he's still getting crushed. It turns darker from here. And then came the denial. Vitaly tried to beg for bail, promising to behave and not flee. But the court wasn't having it. Why? Because he's the textbook definition of a flight risk. Russia doesn't want him. The US won't touch him. And both governments made that clear. Here's where the mask falls off.
What this guy was doing in the Philippines was just so fucked. And to see him now getting the comeuppance for justice and realizing that he has really screwed his life over for what? A couple clicks on a Kick stream? To see these IRL streamers fucking around and now finding out. Does it get much better? I don't think so. And Vitaly could be facing even more charges, and his case...
Russia straight up disowned him. Their message to citizens, don't be like this guy. That's government speak for, you're on your own. And the US? Vitaly's just a green card holder, not a citizen, not their responsibility, not worth the paperwork. So when the Philippines transferred him to the BJMP, it was loud and clear. You're not going anywhere. The drama only gets deeper. But then, total chaos. Some delusional superfans still believe he's valuable enough to be treated like a prisoner in a Cold War movie. One guy even said Trump might pull strings because Aiden Ross and the Nelk boys are connected. Bro, what? Vitaly isn't Snowden. He's not a spy. He's a gym bro with a GoPro and a superiority complex. This next part, straight up wild. That same fan, he got ghosted by Vitaly years ago. No collab, no reply. Just got told to get lost. But he's still defending him like a loyal pet waiting for attention.
I have so much kindness and softness in my heart. Even though after all the shit with me and him, I feel bad, bro. Because, dude, chat, he is in jail for 2 to 3 years before he even gets to fucking trial. Trial takes months. Trial takes 6, 7, 8 months, bro. And that's if he, and he only, bro, minimum 3 years. And that's if he gets not guilty. But everything's on camera. Bro, Vitaly is fucked, bro. Vitaly is actually fucked. Bro, I'm being completely honest. Vitaly is fucked. He might get 10, 20, 30 years in prison. I'm not even kidding, bro.
That's not friendship. That's delusion. Nobody's coming to save Vitaly. Not Russia. Not the US. Not Trump. Not Aiden. Not the Nelk boys. Not even the guy he threw under the bus. Here's where it really explodes. From prank videos to prison cells. This is what a downfall looks like. Vitaly thought going viral made him untouchable. He thought a YouTube audience could protect him from real-life consequences. But the Philippines isn't a set. It's a sovereign nation. And when you break their laws, you don't get dislikes, you get detained. It goes completely off the rails now. He mocked people for attention. Now he's the one being mocked. He used to film strangers for clout. Now his name is blasted across international news as a cautionary tale. He used to act like the world was his gym. Now, he can barely stretch in a shared cell. That's when everything unraveled.
Finding out. Does it get much better? I don't think so. And Vitaly could be facing even more charges, and his case, apparently according to Legal Mindset, is easily provable. According to new information from Legal Mindset, who noted that Vitaly's attorney has filed for bail. If found guilty, he may be facing a sentence of up to 18 months, a year and a half in the Philippines. So this is a very important turning point. Vitaly has 3 counts of unjust vexation against him. The estimate, once again on the low end, is 1 to 3 months behind bars up to 18 months. He also added that unjust vexation is a very...
Yes, he changed the law, but at what cost? He lost his freedom, his following, his body, and maybe even himself. And that's the final twist in this story. The man who live-streamed his own arrogance ended up live-streaming his own collapse. Here's where the truth hits hard. So let this be a warning. The next time you see someone harassing strangers for views, remember, the Philippines didn't blink. They locked up one clout gremlin, and they'll lock up more. Vitaly broke the rules, and ended up breaking himself. They tried to build a brand, but ended up burying it.